Greetings, my peeps, and welcome to the All Things Basketball Podcast with your boy GD. In this episode, I'll be covering Week 19, covering the Unrivaled Finals. We'll talk about that. Also, guys, Magic City Night in Atlanta, not happening, guys. We will talk about that as well. Also, Michael Jordan, in that chopped up interview, talked about the GOAT debate. We'll discuss that. Also, Russell Westbrook. Sacramento media's trying to play in his face. He straightened them out. So we'll talk about that also. Jayson Tatum is back and a whole lot more. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Okay, guys, it's your boy GD back with the All Things Basketball with GD podcast. And guys, we are in the midst of week 20, which means week 19 recap is about to get underway. Whole lot to cover, guys. So not going to delay any further. Let's get into it. So we will start with the Unrivaled Final. So everything's said and done with that, guys. The Unrivaled Final, which I saw, was very entertaining, guys. Between the Mist and the Phantom. In fact, after the first quarter, it was tied at 24. After the second quarter, it was tied at 48. And then in the third quarter, that's where you saw the Mist kind of get out to a bit of a lead. They led by 6 going into that fourth quarter. And then from there, competitive fourth quarter, guys, where Mist got out to an early lead. And then on the back of Kelsey Plum, the Phantom charged back. But when all is said and done, Stewie does what Stewie does. She ices the game. She gets fouled, goes to a free throw line, and gets the win. Final score, 80-74. And guys, in the game for the Mist, Stewie, she gets, like I said, the game-winning free throw. Guys, 32 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 blocks, 2 steals for Stewie. So, and of course, she gets the Unrivaled Finals MVP award as well. And Stewie, I tell you what, man, she can stop playing today, and her career is rock solid. I mean, she's won at every single level, guys. Multiple championships on all levels, whether it be college, whether it be in the WNBA, whether it be playing overseas in other countries, whether it be playing for Team USA, guys. She is well decorated and one of the top 5 players to ever lace them up. So Stewie adds more hardware to her collection. So, of course, props to her in that regard. Also, Arika Ogunbowale. Remember, she's coming off the bench for this squad, guys. 19 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. And then she got into a little bit of a scuttlebutt, if you will. And she has a going back and forth with security, so much so she ends up getting arrested. But we'll wait for more details to come out about that. But listen, Arike played a heck of a playoffs for the Mist team. So give her major props for showing up and showing out. And then you have Alana Smith, who scores 11 points, 6 rebounds. Another player coming off the bench giving you solid production, especially in those times where Stewie needed a breather. You had Alana Smith out there balling. So credit to her. Alicia Gray didn't have as strong a playoffs as I thought she would have had, but still a solid contributor, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. And listen, the team splits that $600 prize pool, of which Alicia Gray is going to get $100,000 out of that. And remember, she got the $50,000 for finishing second in the one-on-one tournament. So you talk about some extra cash for Alicia Gray. She's smiling right now, as she always does. So kudos to her. And then Veronica Burton, the solid point guard for them. Quiet game, but still effective. 6 points, 5 assists. And then for the Phantom, you got to give a boatload of credit to Ronika Hodges, the coach over there. I mean, the adversity this team had to face pretty much all season long. Starting the season, no Satu Sabali. She was feeling the effects of that injury she amassed in the WNBA finals, so she was unavailable. Then you had Dana Evans, who played a couple of games, and that was it for them. And then the latest injury, Aaliyah Boston, not being available for the playoffs. So you talk about a hill to climb, but this team stayed in it. They stayed in it thanks to Kelsey Plum, who's played out of her mind, guys. And in this final, listen to this, 40 points, of which she hit 6 threes, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. I mean, absolutely amazing performance by Kelsey Plum. Also, Kiki Ariafin doing her best Aaliyah Boston impersonation, the baby ghost, 13 points, 11 rebounds, so solid game for her. Tiffany Hayes, a decent game, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. And then Natasha Howard, not so great a game, 9 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals for her. And then Isaiah James, who came in for filling in for Dana Evans, 0 points for her. So there you go. But the Miss, your unrivaled champion for 2026. So hats off to them, and also hats off to the Phantom for a fantastic season as well. So there you go. All right, guys, let us continue. Team USA, guys, they're practicing right now in Miami, gearing up for going down to Puerto Rico, playing in the World Cup qualifier. So this is to qualify to play for the World Cup. You got the old heads that are there. You got Jackie Young. You got Kelsey Plum, in fact. You got also Chelsea Gray and also Kalia Copper. So you got them blending in with the young guns, Paige Beckers, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Kiki Ariafin. You would have had Aaliyah Boston and Sonia Centrone, but both of them are dealing with injuries. So to fill in for them, you get a Monique Billings and a sweet baby Ray Burrell filling in as well. So also you have Derek Hamby on the squad as well. So listen, they're gearing up, getting ready, and then you have the 3-on-3 squad that the Team USA has put together. Alicia Gray, Veronica Burton, also Naz Hillman, and Shakira Austin. So a solid squad there. So Team USA getting after it, getting ready for the summer for the World Cup. So wishing them well, of course. Always rooting for Team USA to get it done, especially those ladies there. So get after it, ladies. All right, guys. And then the last bit of sound I'll play before we transition to the men. Napheesa Collier sat down with the Athletic, and it was Zena Kita, if I'm not mistaken, and she had this to say as far as a possible partnership with the WNBA. So I'll play you the sound.
We did offer equity when we first,
Oop.
before we launched.
Hold on 1 second, guys.
And they turned it down. They did.
Okay.
opportunity to be involved with Unrivaled? They did, yeah. We did offer equity before we launched, yeah. And they turned it down. They did. What does Unrivaled do to set itself apart and set itself as a potential standard or a comparison for the W? Everything we're fighting for is salary, benefits, equity in the league. Like, we have all these things without needing to be asked at Unrivaled. Like, we want for nothing here. And not only do we meet like the minimum standards that we're begging for in the WNBA, we exceed them. Players see here what professional life should look like. And so it's really hard when you've been given that to accept less when you know what it could be like. Many pro sports leagues operate as monopolies. What's the value in creating something fresh like Unrivaled to challenge that and change that? It allows us to have leverage. We don't have to just accept anything that you give us, because if you don't give us what we're owed, like, we have other places that we can go.
So that was Napheesa Collier. Of course, you know, herself and Breanna Stewart are co-founders of the Unrivaled League. So they tried to get a partnership going with the WNBA, but that did not come to fruition. I think partially that's because the WNBA they're still tied to Athletes Unlimited, which is also a 3-on-3 league that plays in the off season, and they kind of get players that, you know, may not have been given a great chance to show what they have to play in this league and kind of, you know, get their skills up, so to speak. So the league is tied to Athletes Unlimited. So I doubt if the team would tie itself to Unrivaled as well, especially it being a new product. So I, crazy as it sounds, I understand where the league is coming from. You don't want to jump into this new league until you see what the league is about and all those sort of things. But does it look kind of crazy that they didn't do it? Now it does, because this league is making money. I told you I went to the semifinals. The place was packed out. The merch lines were ridiculous, and the merch was flying off the shelf. I mean, so you know, they're making their money. So will the WNBA in future, will they partner up with them? Possibly. So we'll see what happens. But I just thought I'd play that sound there for you. So there you go. All right, guys. So let us continue. Top stories. I was going to say the Jayson Tatum return, which I will get to, but this news just came down the pike, guys. Last week, I talked about the Magic City night that was happening in Atlanta. The Atlanta Hawks was sponsoring this Magic City night where they was going to sell merchandise geared towards it. They were going to have T.I. perform. They were going to do the podcast as well, live podcast performance there, and also the lemon pepper wings, one named after Lou Williams and the other just the original. So they were doing all this, right? And then I spoke about Luke Cornett in the statement that he wrote out and sent out, right? So, and then the Atlanta Hawks, upon hearing that, they said, okay, we're still doing it. But now the league has got involved. And here's what the league said in that regard. Here is the statement from Adam Silver concerning the Magic City game promotion that's going to be on March 16th. When we became aware of the Atlanta Hawks scheduled promotion, we reached out to Hawks leadership to better understand their plans and rationale. While we appreciate the team's perspective and their desire to move forward, we heard significant concerns from a broad array of league stakeholders, including fans, partners, and employees. I believe canceling this promotion is the right direction for the broader NBA community. So that's the statement from Adam Silver. The Atlanta Hawks have put the kibosh on Magic City night on March 16th. So again, and I spoke about it last week. I'll state it again. I told you the fact that the league was also tied to this raises an eyebrow. I mean, I understand, I get it. Trust me, I'm a person who goes to Atlanta every year. So I understand the Magic City and, all that's tied to that, it being the place that a lot of players go to, a lot of folks patronize, and all that sort of stuff. But you just got to see the bigger picture. I mean, and I say it's paramount to the Knicks being sponsored by the Hustler Club over there on the near the West Side Highway. You can't have that, guys. You just can't have it. Again, people will say, "Oh, what about the gambling? What about the alcohol?" Again, it's apples and oranges. It really is, guys. It really is. That and my concern also was, what do you do when women show up for the game in stripper attire? What do you do then, guys? What do you do with that? You can't turn them away because you're sponsoring this through Magic City, which is an adult club where they wear stripper attire. So you can't turn them away. And then, the game is a family-friendly environment. Kids will be at the game. The kids will be like, "Mom, Dad, what's this Magic City stuff is about? What is this about?" So you can't do that. Uh, Again, I applaud Luke Cornett for stepping out on that. I mean, felt like he was a man on the island, but when you get veterans in the league like Al Horford to kind of amen what you're saying, that's not good. And then the build up, leading up to it. So am I surprised this happened? I'm not surprised, to be honest with you. I'm not surprised. I was initially surprised because the league said we're good with it. So I think they're doing the right thing here. And you find another way to promote yourself. This ain't it. Bottom line, this ain't it. A lot of people are getting their feelings. I just saw Cameron talk about it. He going off about it. I'm like, come on, yeah. I saw also the guys on Speakeasy. They was talking about it, but I guess the guy in the booth was kind of telling them like, this is the equivalent of the Las Vegas Raiders promotion for the Bunny Ranch out there in Vegas, where they have legal prostitution, by the way. So, yeah. So I have zero issue with them them canceling this. I have zero issue with it. And then I saw Jamel Hill and also Carrie Champion, because they have a podcast together. They were talking about, they were surprised at the backlash from men on this. And yeah, so all right. I'm just gonna leave it there. But I applaud the league for stepping in and saying, look, not a good look. Let's do something different. So there you go with that. All right, guys. So I'm going to leave that alone. Let us continue. Michael Jordan, he's that spliced up interview that he does with Mike Tirico. Another portion came out where he talked about the Olympics first, and Mike Tirico brought up how the rest of the world is catching up with the American players, to which Michael Jordan kind of side-eyed that and said, look, Team USA should beat whoever's in front of them. He understands the world has caught up, but not so much where they can overtake Team USA. So he said he would have to see it to believe it. So, of which, I agree with that as well. I mean, sure, you have international players that are at the top as far as, if you're a rank, a lot of your international players will come before American player. That's being said, that person's country, their team has not surpassed Team USA. Maybe that person in that country has, but not the team itself. So there's that. So to which I agree with Jordan there. And then he talked about the GOAT debate. I want to play the sound. So I believe this is what I want to play. Yes, this is it. Okay. Hang on a second. Here we go.
Who's the greatest of all time? So it's rare that I get a chance to. One thing that's never changed with sports fans is the debate about the GOAT. Who's the greatest of all time? So it's rare that I get a chance to sit down with one of the guys who's debated about to talk about the conversation of that term, the GOAT.
Whole GOAT term is never going to be something that I ever will get high or low about. It just doesn't exist with me. I never played against Oscar Roberts or Jerry West. Would have loved to. Absolutely love to. Just as competitive as I am. And I actually learned from them, and we, paved the road to the Kobe's and the LeBrons, right? And to me, it's the beauty of the game of basketball that a player after a previous player has evolved the game further. Mm-hmm. But don't then, in essence, this is where I look at it, don't then now use that against the player that actually taught you the game or that you learned from. Yeah. And that's why I have a tough time. And, look, I would love to have played against LeBron and, Kobe in my prime. I would love to have played, against those guys. But we'll never be able to know that. Part of the marketing, part of the hype, part of the things that tries to elevate one generation above the other, right. I think it creates animosity. I have no animosity against today's players, but you do have certain players that do have animosity because of the forgottenness of what their contribution has been to the game of basketball. It is what it is. It is a empty comparison. Is it absolutely never find that the true answer to that question? It's a circular conversation. It's just going to keep going. And I understand. But it's great to talk about. 100% to talk about and envision. Look, I think LeBron has had an unbelievable career, and I admire him for what he's done. And Kobe as well as KD and all these guys who have played in this era. I think they've elevated the game of basketball tremendously. I just don't agree when you start, trying to put one above the other. It doesn't work. We'll never know. It creates more of a problem from, not for me. I've never given this credence. But, for other players who look for their existence within the generation of basketball. And we should always honor that. We should always preserve that. We should always, reward that they paved the road for a lot of generations after that. And by doing that, you somewhat become a Jabbar. I mean, Wilt Chamberlain. I mean, Bill Russell had 11 championships. Yeah. I mean, how do you just push him in the corner and say, we ain't going to think about you. We forgot about you. That to me is where I get lost.
So that was Jordan on the whole GOAT debate. Here's what I'll say. On this show, there's no GOAT debate because, as he said, you have different eras where players played. You had the 60s. You had, Jerry West. You had Wilt Chamberlain, all those guys played under different dynamics than the players of today. Then you have the 70s players, if you will. Your Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and those sort of guys there. Then you got the 80s players with Magic, Bird, Julius on the tail end, but Julius kind of, his prime was really in the 70s where he was at the height of his powers. So, so I don't get swept up in the GOAT debate because of the different eras. So, and as Jordan himself said, you're never going to find the right answer. So it's not something that will be discussed on this show, bottom line. So there's that. Of course, people are still gonna talk about it regardless of what you just heard Jordan say, that you can't make the comparison and all that, and that you can't push aside Bill Russell and his 11 championships. You can't push aside Kareem and his 6 MVPs and all that he did in the game. So that's where I'm at it as far as that goes. You really can't compare. You can't compare, guys. So that's what I'll say with that. So I'm in agreement with Jordan as far as that goes. But other people are still gonna have these debates because this is what drives shows. So they're gonna have these sort of discussions. So won't be discussed here because I don't play that game. So there you go. All right, guys. So let us continue on. Russell Westbrook. Now, guys, he's with the Sacramento Kings, who are now 15-50. They lost 50 games, guys. And like I said when the season began, I didn't understand the rationale of Russell Westbrook going to Sacramento. I just didn't understand it. It made more sense for him, like I said, for Houston to get in a room, get KD in there, get Russ in there. They're both players on the different dynamics now. Russ will come in to help, be a facilitator on the floor, get his when needed. But, the offense was going to be run through KD, through Alperen Sengun. You get Armin Thompson feet sort of wet as well. So Russ knew that. So I don't know. And there's other places he could have went. He could have went to maybe a Miami Heat. He could have went to just another situation where at least it would have been a competitive sort of situation for him. But what's happening over there now, Atlanta, well, they had Trae Young at the time, but the Hornets maybe, even if you have a LaMelo Ball there, at least he could have backed him up. Well, Clippers is where he came from. Maybe he went to Suns. Who knows? But yeah, so there was other situations he could have went to. For him to stay in Sacramento, I was surprised by that. But with all that being said, frustration mounting, and Russell Westbrook, he was beside himself with the media there, especially with the Sacramento media there. They act like they're in LA the way they're going after him. So I'm going to let you hear. I'm going to let you hear what Russell Westbrook had to say. Take a listen to him.
left now. Like, just kind of what's the focus like as you guys close this out? You hit 50 losses tonight, and you know you're kind of doing some things, developing young guys and stuff. Like, what can be accomplished like in these last 19 games? You know, go out, compete. This is a game. You're a professional. Go out and play. And that's all you can do. What y'all think though? Because y'all got a lot of answers and y'all always be talking. Oh, it's very interesting. Y'all don't got no. You guys have a lot of opinions about how we do what we doing. What you got? No, you. Yeah, you make a lot of statements and broad statements that you have no context. So, where do you get your context from? Are you in practice? Are you at our film session? Are you anywhere around the building? No, I haven't seen you at practice. So the false context of, and actually, do you know me? No, you don't know me. You don't know me. You don't know me. But you make a lot of comments as though you do know me. No, you don't. My intent. I see it. I see it. But I'm asking you now. But you don't know me, right? So you don't know anything about me. Thank you. That's good. Anybody else? You guys have any comments about how we play? What we doing?
So Russell Westbrook, yeah, he's done at this point. So you know, he's gonna play it out. He's a veteran. You know, he's gonna play until the last whistle. That's what he does. So do I see him returning back to Sacramento after this season is done? Probably not. I think he's had enough of the Sacramento experience. Will he stumble onto another team? Maybe he goes somewhere else. Maybe. But I think, yeah, the bloom is off the rose with Russell Westbrook and the Sacramento Kings. And it's kind of sad to see it go this way, but hey, what can you do? What can you do? Russell Westbrook, he's had a pretty, very good career, you know, in terms of the triple doubles and all that, winning a league MVP as well. So, yeah, he will be a guy. He'll, you know, people will cringe at this, but he'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer, based off the triple doubles and all of that, league MVP, all those things. So, well, I like to see him in a better situation next year. Sure, I would. Sure. He's one of those guys I would root for to win a championship, because the thing with Russ is he doesn't cheat the game. He does not cheat the game whatsoever. He goes out there and competes. If he's healthy, he's going to be out there. It's the bottom line. So if you see Russ miss time, that's because something wrong with him. So ain't that they're load managing him. Russ is not on the floor. That's because he can't be on the floor. So you know, hopefully, you know, he gets out of this situation. Maybe next year he goes somewhere better. So there you go. But I wanted to play that sound because Russ had it. He's had it over there. So there you go. All right, guys. So let us continue on. Oh, before I forget, let me do the players of the week for week 18. Well, week 19. I keep going to 18. Week 19. So your players of the week. In the West, Victor Wembanyama, guys. His team went 4-0. They beat Philly on the road. And then their 3 home games, they beat Detroit, they beat the Clippers, and they beat the Houston Rockets. They just did that on Sunday. And Wemby for the week, 26 points per game, 10 and a half rebounds, and nearly 5 blocks per game. He averaged for the week. Good gracious. Wow. As far as his shooting goes, over 55% from the field. From 3, yeah, he hit a few threes for the week, 10 for 24. And then from the free throw line, out of 23 attempts, he misses only 3. Victor Wembanyama, your player of the week in the West. In the East, here's a name I was surprised to see. Tyler Herro of the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat went 4-0 for the week, guys. They beat Brooklyn twice at home, went on the road to play Charlotte, won there, and then a big win on Sunday versus the Detroit Pistons, guys. For the week, Herro, over 26 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, and nearly 5 assists for him. From the field, sensational for him. Just under 54% from the field, well over 50% from 3, 15 for 29. And then from the free throw line, out of 19 attempts, he misses just 1. Tyler Herro, when healthy, the guy can perform. So Tyler Herro helping this team who, oh, by the way, are in the play-in spot and trying to climb up. So Tyler Herro, your player of the week in the East. All right, guys, let us continue on. You know what? Let's do the monthly awards, and then we'll get to Jayson Tatum. I know we're supposed to get to him. So, players of the month for February. Well, let's start with our player for the week in the West. He's your player of the month for February. Victor Wembanyama, guys. He averaged 22.5 points per game, over 11 rebounds, 3.5 blocks, guys, and 3.5 assists, along with nearly a steal and a half per game. Shooting it from the field, over 49%. From 3, not so great, 30%. And then from the free throw line, nearly 78%. He had 7 double-doubles for the weeks, guys. That's points and rebounds. So he had 7 double-doubles in that month out of the 11 games, by the way. So there you go there. So Victor Wembanyama, your player of the month in the West. In the East, Cade Cunningham, guys, for the Detroit Pistons. Over 25 points per game, nearly 10 assists per game, guys. 6.5 rebounds, over a steal and a half, over a block and a half. So Cade Cunningham doing it all for the Pistons. Shooting from the field, over 47%. From 3, over 37%. And from the free throw line, nearly 77%, guys. He had 6 double-doubles for the weeks, guys. And that's points and assists. So 6 double-doubles for Cade Cunningham, your player of the month of February in the East. Let us continue on. Rookies of the month, guys. In the West, Dylan Harper, guys, of the San Antonio Spurs. Oh, by the way, well, yeah. So, yeah. 12.5 points per game, nearly 5 assists, and nearly 4 rebounds. And this is coming off the bench, guys, for the San Antonio Spurs. Shooting it from the field, over 55%. From 3, not so good. And then from the free throw line, nearly 67%. So Dylan Harper, your player of the week in the West. I mean, your rookie of the month in the West. And then your rookie of the month in the East for the month of February. Who else? Konan for the Charlotte Hornets, guys. 21.5 points he averaged, nearly 6 rebounds and a steal per game. Shooting from the field, over 50%, guys, so you like that. 48.5% from 3 and over 82% from the free throw line. And guys, he had 7 games, guys, where he had 4 more 3-point goals in the game, guys. That's how well he's shooting it from 3. Oh, by the way, he has broken the record for 3-point goals by a rookie. And he's still going. He's still got another month to play. So, Konan, your February Rookie of the Month. Let us continue on. Defensive Player of the Month. In the West, who else could it be? Victor Wembanyama. He's first in blocks in the league, guys. First in blocks. He's second in the West in defensive rebounds. First in the West in defensive rating, guys. So that's the kind of month that Wemby had for the San Antonio Spurs. And then in the East, Derek White of the Boston Celtics, guys. Get this. He's third in the East in blocks, guys. This is from a guard position. He's third in the East. Wow. He's first among guards in contested shots, and he's first overall in the NBA in defensive rating. Derek White for the Boston Celtics, playing hellified defense for that team, and thus your Defensive Player of the month of February in the East. Your Coaches of the Month, we're staying in San Antonio, guys. In the West, Mitch Johnson. Their team went 11-0 in February, guys. 11-0 for the month, guys. And oh, by the way, their average win margin for the month of February, over 14 points a game. So they were blowing folks out over 14 points per game during that stretch of games. There are 11 games that they won. They went perfect for the month. So Mitch Johnson, I think you can just write him in as coach of the year, guys. I think he's had that good a season. And then in the East, Kenny Atkinson for the Cleveland Cavaliers. His team went 8-3 for the month, guys. They started off the month with 7 straight victories. So, and remember, guys, they acquired James Harden early in the month, so that helped contribute to this. So, but Kenny Atkinson, your coach of the month for the month of February in the Eastern Conference. All right, guys, let us continue. Jayson Tatum, he's back, guys. Much to the chagrin of a lot of folks. He's back for the Boston Celtics. He makes his season debut. Remember, he suffered the torn ACL about 9 months ago, in fact, guys. But he's back. He played on March 6th in a win versus the Dallas Mavericks at home. So in that game, he played 27 minutes, 15 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists. They talked with him after the game. He said it felt good to be back out there with the guys, and getting his legs, it's going to take time to get his legs under him, but it felt good for him. So a lot of happy folks in Boston that he's back. So there you go there. And then 2 nights later, in a nationally televised game at the Cleveland Cavaliers, they get the win, guys, on the road in Cleveland. In 27 minutes, he gets 20 points, Jayson Tatum does. So Jayson Tatum's back, guys. So I'd be interested to see how they treat him as far as the back-to-back goes. I think they will kind of manage him as far as that goes. Understandably so, guys. So you can't knock them for that. Here's my question, though. With him coming back a month before the season ends, does this affect Jaylen Brown's MVP chances? Does this affect Jaylen Brown's MVP chances? I say yes. I say this absolutely affects it, especially if they continue winning. They continue to maintain the number 2 seed in the East. I say, yeah, I think votes will be taken away from Jaylen Brown with Jayson Tatum's arrival. I don't think you can deny that, guys. So I'll be very interested to see when the postseason voting and how it shakes out as far as MVP goes. But I think this hurts his chances. Now, I'll have this recording. I'll play it back if I'm right, but I think this definitely doesn't help his cause as far as league MVP goes. So there you go there. All right, guys. So that's it with that. Trae Young. He makes his debut with the Washington Wizards, guys. And he does it on March 5th in a loss at home to the Utah Jazz, guys. A game in which he played 19 minutes, scored 12 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 steals, guys. So there you go there. And then, mind you, earlier in the week, on March 2nd, he gets ejected from a game, guys, in a loss versus the Houston Rockets. And this happened during a bit of a face-off between rookie Jameer Watkins and Houston's Tyree Eason, guys. Trae Young would leave the bench and walk onto the court. You know, that's an absolute no-no as far as that goes. You're not supposed to do that. So he gets ejected. So, you know, a fine will be coming down the pipe for him doing that. So, but Trae Young, back playing, but this time in a Washington Wizards uniform. So there you go there. All right, and then Giannis Antetokounmpo. He returns after a 15-game absence with a calf injury, guys. And he returns for a March 2nd loss versus the Boston Celtics. He played 25 minutes, 19 points, 11 rebounds, so he gets the double-double there. How much he plays going down the stretch, we'll see. Right now, they're on the outside looking in as far as a play-in spot, guys. They're not anywhere.
19 games left now.
Oops. So they're not anywhere in the midst as far as that goes. They are 4 games out of the 10 spot. Charlotte has that 10 spot there. I doubt if they relinquish it because Charlotte's, you know, they're playing well, all things considered. So there you go. But I'll be interested to see how much Giannis plays going down the stretch. I think that'll be of a major concern. So there you go there. Few more quick items before we close out. Nikola Vucevic, who actually on the night that Jayson Tatum debuted, he injures his finger, guys. He's going to be out for a month. So you get one guy back, you lose a guy. Vucevic was starting to play well for them. Now he's out for a month. So that will put him at the early part of April coming back. So Nemias Quelta, he'll continue to play the big man role along with Luke Garza as well. So they'll man the fort until Vucevic come back. Ja Morant for the Memphis Grizzlies, he's out 2 more weeks with an elbow injury, so we'll see if he returns. Yanic Konan Niederhauser, the Swiss rookie for the LA Clippers, he's done for the season, guys, with a Lynch Frank injury, guys, a ligament tear in his foot. So he's done for the year. And then in college ball, guys, the University of North Carolina's Caleb Wilson, he's out for the season, guys. He has a thumb injury that he suffered. 6'10" forward, averaging nearly 20 points per game, over 9 rebounds. He was scheduled to be a top 4 pick in the upcoming 2026 draft. More likely than not, he'll still declare. Teams will probably be like, okay, it's a thumb. He should be okay. He could possibly still be a top 4 pick in that draft. So there you go. He compares favorably to a Jermaine O'Neal, so you like the sounds of that. And his North Carolina Tar Heels were 24-6 prior to coming out of him being declared out for the season. So there you go there. All right, guys. And then lastly, we'll go through a top 5 real quick. At number 5, my New York Knicks at 41-24, going out west. So we'll see how they hold up for the week. Number 4, the Boston Celtics at 43-21, getting Jayson Tatum back, a huge boost for that team. So that should help them as far as that goes. Number 3, the Detroit Pistons, showing some slippage as of late, guys. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that. But they fall to 3, guys. Number 2, the San Antonio Spurs, thanks to an undefeated February and a hot start to March. San Antonio Spurs, guys, taking care of business. And then number 1, the Oklahoma City Thunder. They've been number 1 all season long, 50-15, guys. And set to get Jalen Williams back soon. So all will be right with the Thunder in the West. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. As always, all things basketball with GD.com is the website. There, my clips, my full episodes. Also, guys, I'm on all podcast platforms, Apple, all the works. I'm there. Also, guys, YouTube channel. You can find me there also. Clips and full episodes there. And then, guys, as far as donate, guys. On my website, I got buttons. You can donate to the show. PayPal, buy me a coffee. Spotify, donate. And always in the scroll, you find my Cash App, $GD. That's Sports Dude. $GD. That's Sports Dude. That's the Cash App. Also, email the show, allthingsbasketballgd@outlook.com. There you can write to the show, send email, all those sort of things. And then social media, some Facebook, some Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok. Those are my go-tos. Thank you for listening as always, guys. Guys, I may be taking a hiatus. I got some personal stuff I need to do, so I may be shelving the show for a bit of a minute going down the stretch. So we'll see. But yeah, I got some personal things I got to take care of. But I thank you for your listenership. It's important to making this show go. So I appreciate you always, guys. And then we'll talk soon, guys. Take care.